الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. From next week, inshallah, the Isha will be 8 o'clock till March. So going to be 3 months, nearly 6 months, 8 o'clock. And the study cycle will be 8:15. So we'll make one stretch. And because next week we're giving the talk on depression, it takes at least an hour. So I thought I'll do Quran today, no topic, and next week will be the topic, no Quran. When the topic is short, you can fit half an hour for Quran and half an hour for the topic. But when it is like depression is going to be a long topic. So back to the ayahs in the Quran. Ayah 49. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإذ نجيناكم من آل فرعون يسومونكم سوء العذاب يذبحون أبناءكم ويستحيون نساءكم وفي ذلكم بلاء من ربكم عظيم. So here Allah is reminding them the sons of Israel, and it's actually for us. Allah we said in the Quran, Allah brought who are the hypocrites, who are the believers, and who are the kafirin, and then He told us about the hypocrites for a couple of pages. There's descriptions, and then He told us about His creation to the heavens and earth, and when He installed of them, and He challenged us to bring a similar to the Quran. That's the Quran which Allah brought. And then Allah told us the story of creating Adam والسلام, and what got him out of Jannah. And then He went straight to be careful, because nations who came before you and had messages before you, they behaved this way, and we don't want you to behave this way. And Allah told us in the Suratul Baqarah quite a bit about the sons of Israel. We said last time the sons of Israel addressed as the son of Israel because they get hold of Yaqub, as he is the father of the Jew, and they stuck to it, and we are the son of Yaqub. And in a way probably didn't value the rest of the prophets who came after him. They did value David, Dawood alayhi salam, because he made a kingdom and he was ruling, defeated his enemies, and Sulaiman was powerful. They didn't actually take Sulaiman as such, because they claimed that he made kufr when he took all the books of the magicians and he buried it, and they said, oh, that was Sulaiman. Allah said, وَمَا كَفَرَ سُلَيْمَانُ وَلَكِنَّ الشَّيَاطِينَ كَفَرُوا. It will come later in Suratul Baqarah. And then they were terrified of Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. Allah said, وَأَتَيْنَا مُوسَى سُلْطَانًا مُبِينًا. He gave Musa powerful, a clear power, and he was able to control the Jew, the sons of Israel, so they claim. So they passed Musa. They don't say the sons of Musa, the sons of Israel, because of the 11 disciples of the Yosef and his brothers. So reminding them, there were a lot of punishment, there were a lot of torture to them. They were killing their children, and they were enslaving their women, and that was a great test from Allah Azza wa Jalla. Obviously Allah didn't tell us what they were doing before that to deserve this, because when they were with Yosef, they became like in power. Yosef was the treasurer, and they had a lot of power within his hands, and he brought his family, he brought his father Yaqub and his mother and his 11 brothers, and they settled in Masr, in Egypt, for a while. And then Imam Sha'rawi and other scholars, they tell us about the king, the time of Yosef wasn't bad, and the few kings after that wasn't bad, and then Pharaoh started coming to the picture. And if you talk about Ibrahim 5,000 years ago, and then Musa 3,000 years ago, and then you have in between these 2,000 years, there's a lot of prophets came, and so one of the things Allah has mentioned here, reminding the sons of Israel, that He split the sea with them. فَرَقْنَا بِكُمُ الْبَحَرَ. And we said فَرَقْنَا, previous session, that split the sea. And Furqan is the Quran, split the falsehood from the truth. And Al-Faruq, Umar ibn Khattab, split the falsehood from the truth, and he was quite sharp in him fighting the falsehood and corruption and cheat, and you know, people wouldn't mess with Umar radiallahu anhu. And this is why he was probably the most to achieve at his time, defeated the Persian emperor and the Roman emperor at the same time, and Egypt, you know, Muqawqas, and so he spread the Islam, defeated the two superpowers around him, and quite well known, mashallah, Khattab radiallahu anhu. So Allah Azza wa Jalla said, فَإِنْجَيْنَاكُمْ, we saved you, and we drowned the family of Pharaoh. So Al Pharaoh, when Allah Azza wa Jalla mentioned collectively, what that means, like وقالت اليهود يد الله مغلولة, وقالت اليهود, I'll bring the ayah for you. There's few ayah about Yahud, and Allah spoke about them as a group. They all made the mistake. وقالت اليهود ليست النصارى على شيء, not this ayah. وقالت اليهود this ayah, لتجدن أشد الناس عداوة للذين آمنوا اليهود والذين أشركوا. The strongest among men in enmity to the believers are those who you find are the Jew and pagans. So why he said the Jew, not some of the Jew? A similar ayah, وقالت اليهود يد الله مغلولة. The Jews said that Allah's hand is tied up, he's not spending as they expect him. But he spoke about all the Jews. Why is that? Why?
Because he makes these very strong, so that's what someone has to make stuff.
Yeah, any more contribution? Here, this ayah, فَلَمَّا نَسُوا مَا ذُكِّرُوا بِهِ أَنْجَيْنَا الَّذِينَ يَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ السُّوءِ. Allah is talking here about the Jew. When they were asked not to fish on Saturday. وإذ قالت أمة منهم لم تعظون قوما واسألهم عن الخيط اللي كانت حاضرة البحر إذ يعدون في السبت إذ تأتيهم سحتهم يوم سبتهم شرعا ويوم لا يسبتون لا تأتيهم كذلك نبلوهم بما كانوا يفسقون. وإذ قالت أمة منهم لم تعظون قوما الله مهلكهم أو معذبهم عذابا شديدا قالوا معذرة إلى ربكم ولعلهم يتقون. So they were this village by the sea were asked not to work on Saturday and not to fish on Saturday, and they split into three groups. One of them were fishing, cheating on Saturday, one were careless, minding their own business, and one there forbidding the evil. And they were asked, why you forbid the evil? Allah will destroy them, don't worry, Allah will punish them. And they said, مَعَذِرَةً إِلَىٰ رَبِّكُمْ. So we have excuse that we did our job to stop them, and they might stop, they might be mindful of Allah Azza wa Jal. And then Allah Azza wa Jal said, فَلَمَّا نَسُوا مَا ذُكِّرُوا بِهِ, when they disregarded what's been told, Allah Azza wa Jal said, أَنْجَيْنَا الَّذِينَ يَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ السُّوءِ. So Allah Azza wa Jal only consider those who forbid the evil. Those who mind their own business, they're not counted. Not counted. There's another ayah in the Quran that Allah Azza wa Jal said, على لسان داود لعن الذين كفروا من بني إسرائيل على لسان داود وعيسى ابن مريم ذلك بما عصوا كانوا لا يتناهون عن منكر فعلوه لبئس ما كانوا لعن الذين كفروا من بني إسرائيل على لسان داود وعيسى بن مريم ذلك بما عصوا وكانوا يعتدون. He said here لعن, those part of Bani Israel, they were cursed, those who disbelieve. They were cursed by Dawood and Isa ibn Maryam because they were disobedient and they were aggressor. And then Allah Azza wa Jalla said, كانوا لا يتناهون عن منكر فعلوه. They were not forbidding the evil. So forbidding the evil is important, will exclude you from the punishment. And because all of them didn't disagree when they said Yadullahi Maghlula, there were no group came to say no. If a group came and said to them, no, Allah is generous, Allah will not include everybody. So Allah include those who were aggressor and abuser, and everybody who's minding his own business. It's not my business. So you can't be passive. It doesn't work with Allah. You have to make a stand in a way which keep you fine, safe and unharmed. You might be harmed. I mean, there's a risk. I'm sure if you come now and you challenge the system in a way which you have powerful reason why they are wrong, they will be coming investigating where you go, where you buy your food, where you went to school. They will go to Syria, investigate who was someone. They will go to all the countries. My job to find fault on you, to rubbish what you say because of your fault. Yeah. So, but people are afraid of this. Now, there's a talk today about. I can't remember now the news item, that once you make when somebody commits a crime, then he's rubbished from all the jobs and all the positions, and you can't get anywhere. This is why they carry on re-offending, because they can't get a decent job, they can't get even permission to buy or something. I can't remember the news item, whether in Britain or somewhere else in another country. Anybody heard that news item? They're trying to polish that. You can't. In Islam, subhanallah, you can't make istighfar, ask Allah to forgive you, and that's it. Forgiven, new sheet start, and that's it. End of the matter. So going back to Suratul Baqarah, once I go to the surah, I lose Al-Baqarah. Yeah. فَأَنْجَيْنَاكُمْ وَأَغْرَقْنَا آلَ فِرْعَوْنَ وَأَنْتُمْ تَنْظُرُونَ. So Allah Azza wa Jalla saved them from Fir'aun, and while they were watching. The problem, why Allah Azza wa Jalla saved the body of Fir'aun? Because Allah Azza wa Jalla said in the Quran, what's the ayah? اليوم ننجيك ببدنك. Why Allah saved the body of فاليوم ننجيك, he said to Fir'aun, يوم ننجيك ببدنك لتكون لمن خلفك آية. This day we shall save your body, so you may be a sign for those who come later. And it was when people became Muslims because they saw the body of Pharaoh, Ramses II in Paris. Maurice Bukai became Muslim because he looked into the mummified body, and here you are, mummified body, carbon dated. It was the time of Musa. The Bible says he was drowned while he was in front of him. So he looked into the Quran, and the Quran said, we saved your body. So he did the anatomy, he found sea salt and sea weeds in his lung. So he said the Quran saved the Bible. When the Quran saved the Bible from being, rubbished as wrong. Because this is another Quran, another scripture from Allah Azza wa Jalla said he saved his body, so he'll be signed to. But why he saved his body at the time of Musa?
To show the people that he's actually died.
Yeah, because they wouldn't believe. They were so terrified of Pharaoh, they wouldn't believe he died. And something similar happened recently. What's that? Yeah, she wasn't tyrant. Qaddafi. When he died, people to believe that Muammar Qaddafi died, they put him in the room. People were moving like, to believe, yes, he's dead already. Because you were so terrified of him in Libya. And so, I mean, we've seen it through people we know, and we've seen it from news items and things. So, Allah Azza wa Jal made them witness that. وَأَنْتُمْ تَنْظُرُونَ. Why تنظرون? To believe he's dead. Because they didn't even believe. When you see the Ten Commandments film, they show you that a lot of them just, you're wasting your time. Don't even try to fight Pharaoh. He's going to kill us all. And even when they reach the sea, we cornered, he's going to kill us. While Allah Azza wa Jal told Musa that take my people and I will make the sea dry for you. It's not like Musa suddenly Allah made the sea. He told him beforehand. This is why he said إن معي ربي سيهدين يبسا لا تخاف دركا ولا يبسا. Yeah. وأوحينا إلى موسى أن أسري بعبادي فاضرب لهم طريقا في البحر يبسا. Allah inspired Musa and said, take my servant and travel by night with my servants and strike a dry path for them through the sea. Before he left Egypt. So it wasn't sudden discovery that, oh my God, where are you? He's already told, take them, go to the sea. Once you reach the sea, we will make a dry road for you in the sea. لا تخافوا دركا. You will not be reached and you will not be terrified or afraid or not be overtaken. So it was beforehand. He had like inside information. He was given, don't worry, you just go. And that's what happened. So when they said قال قوم موسى إنا لمدركون قال كلا إن معي ربي سيهدين. No, because my Lord with me. Obviously, if he didn't arrive and he found the sea split, he wanted to show him and everybody that Allah split the sea in front of your eyes. So وَأَنْتُمْ تَنْظُرُونَ. And they saw Pharaoh dead. They saw the army drowned and they saw Pharaoh dead. So they believed. Died. That's it. And then he reminded them with another story. Each one of these will come later in the Quran with full details. So you have more details about how they were killing their children and abusing their women and how they were torturing them and enslaving them. And then you will have more story about when they left Egypt and what happened before they arrived, when they arrived, and how they insulted Musa. Even when they were there, they just didn't believe that he is a prophet and he will be saved by Allah. So they kept saying, إِنَّا لَمُدْرَكُونَ, that we are dead, no way, can't. So, and another story that after they passed now the sea and went to Palestine, and Musa was taken on appointment with Allah Azza wa Jal. وَعَدْنَا مُوسَى 40 لَيْلَةً. And in the tafsir they say it's wa'adna. It's more like agreement between Musa and Allah Azza wa Jal. Right? It was Allah Azza wa Jal. He said, come and you will be there. Now the story will be 30 days and then اتممناها ب10 فتم ميقات ربك. So it will come in the Quran in multiple places. وعدنا موسى 40 ليلة. It came 30 first and then became 40. And while he was with Allah Azza wa Jal, they made a statue out of gold, a calf, and they started worshipping the calf. So when you see this, you say, You were wondering why the Pharaoh was torturing them. Musa saved you, and he took you out of bondage, and he took you across the sea, and you see all this might, power of Allah Azza wa Jal, with all the signs, the great signs, hit the Egyptian. And after that, they forgotten all that, and they started worshipping the calf. And when they were walking, جعلنا إلها كما لهم آلهة. When they passed people worshipping a statue, they asked Musa to make them a god like them. It make you, wonder how their brain works. We started interfaith dialogue in Solihull in 2001, and in the winter, Maghrib is 3:45, 4 o'clock. And the Jew, because our study cycle and the meeting used to be Friday, every 6 weeks we have one meeting, interfaith dialogue, on Friday. I invited the Jew. They said, no, we can't come because our Sabbath starts 4 o'clock. Yeah, we can't work. It's not work. It's you go to synagogue and you worship on Saturdays, and that's type of worship. You're producing your religion. No, we don't. Then summer came, and Maghrib started at 9:45. I went back to them. I said, it's not Maghrib yet. You want to come to Friday? No, we can't come. They wouldn't come. So it's not like it's a Sabbath. It was just we're not really interested. We don't want to show whether your religion is any value or not. They don't want you to become Jew anyway. Rabbi Pink told me that he has to reject anyone who want to become a Jew for 7 times. 7 times you can get rejected. You go again, and then number 8 he might accept you as a Jew. So this is and you are a Jew if your mom a Jew. ثم اتخذتم العجل من بعده وأنتم ظالمون. So another snap. ثم عفونا عنكم من بعد ذلك لعلكم تشكرون. عفونا عنكم من بعد ذلك لعلكم تشكرون. He could have destroyed them, all of them, because you are with a prophet of resolute, and you disobey him. قالوا will be coming an ayah later. قالوا سمعنا وعصينا. Where is it now? Yeah. It will come later. It will come. قالوا سمعنا وعصينا وأشربوا في قلوبهم العجل بظلمهم. Following that, I better search for it a bit quicker. I will search for it. سمعنا وعصينا. Yeah. وإذ أخذنا ميثاقكم. It's in Suratul Baqarah, ayah 93. ورفعنا فوقكم الطور خذوا ما أتيناكم بقوة واسمعوا قالوا سمعنا وعصينا. We heard you, but we want to disobey you. How dare? And they're saying it to Musa, one of the men of resolute. When Prophet Muhammad signed the Hudaybiyah treaty, the Sahaba, some of them were about to make a similar mistake. Even Umar ibn Khattab wouldn't agree. Abu Bakr was the spot on. He said, Umar, know your place. Ilzam gharzaka ya Umar. Know your place. He is the messenger of Allah. Killed the objection. Why we give them this, accept this item. Yeah, concession, this concession, that anyone who become Muslim, he has to be sent back to Mecca. Anyone who leave Islam can't go back to Mecca. And you go back to Mecca this year, you don't do Umrah, and you don't call yourself Muhammad Rasulullah, you call yourself Muhammad ibn Abdullah. There's so many concessions. And the Sahaba, they were furious, but they didn't disobey. They didn't disobey. And the Prophet ﷺ went inside. Salama was in the tent, and he said to her, going to be destroyed if they carry on, because they will refuse. Take off your ihram, refuse. She said to him, they're really upset. They're building a lot of dream to go to Mecca, and they were looking forward, and they are strong, 1,500 strong men, and just leave them, and you go out and shave and take your ihram and slaughter your hadi. And they said when he shaved, obviously they ran to take his hair, divided between them, and then they started shaving, and they said they were about to cut each other. They don't want to go back, but they controlled themselves. They really controlled themselves, and on their way back, the surah came that وَلَوْلَا رِجَالٌ مُؤْمِنُونَ وَنِسَاءٌ مُؤْمِنَاتٍ لَوْ تَزَيَّلُوا لَعَذَّبْنَا الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا مِنْهُمْ. He said, Allah said, there were believers in Mecca, men and women. If they split and the believer here and the unbeliever there, yes, go and fight them. But you could kill the believers, and that will give them ma'arra. You will be ashamed of yourself. And then you will come back next year and you will conquer Mecca. So this is fath min Allah. But they control themselves while the Jews didn't. سمعنا وعصينا. What sort of mentality? And when Prophet Muhammad ﷺ came, and they were told all the signs of him and all in their books, and they rejected him. So this is tell you, how they think and how they behave. And sometimes, like when you look into like the Shia or Wahhabiyin or Daesh, how do they think? How do they think? That it's like we were listening to the meaning of the Layl al-Khairat, description of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Beautiful descriptions and beautiful names of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And there's names and there's descriptions. The Arabic language will not help you to know the meaning, but you need the story behind the name, and you need where the name came from. All came from the Quran and Sunnah. It's all correct. There's nothing wrong in the Layl al-Khairat. I read it all. And this guy was saying the Layl al-Shayatin. He is a guide to Shayatin. If you ask him about the Arabic language, he doesn't know the Arabic language. He just casts the book without even knowing his own language, where the things came from. So when you go to them, and like when Khawarij were fighting Ali ibn Abi Talib, they said, "Inna hukmu illa lillah." Allah is the only one who rules. And Abdullah ibn Abbas, he went to them and he said, in the Quran, Allah Azza wa Jal said, if you hunt in Hajj, you have to be punished by a fine decided by two Muslims who meet after Asr and decide what's the fine for you. And he said to them, if two men are given the right to rule between the two of you, for a rabbit you killed, are people not allowed to rule in a fight between Muawiyah and Ali? So he went through quite a few things, and out of the 6,000 Khawarij, 4,000 became Muslims, because they looked into the mentality they were led into, so rigid and twisted, and he managed, no, you're right, and came back. So I think we will stop here, inshallah. Next week is going to be a meeting on depression, and I'm not saying you are depressed, you need to come and be treated. There's no tablets in the way in or the way out. No, there's no tablets. You look there. But I think you need to know how to defend yourself from depressive thoughts. Even if you don't have depression, never had depression, but it's important that people have the mechanism defending themselves against depression. And you will be amazed how much in the Quran and Sunnah to defend you from depression. There will be a lot of things in the Quran and Sunnah, and how you look into your problems and your life events and When it is chemical, which is indigenous changes in the body, also how to deal with it and how Islam looked into it. So inshallah next week. I had 42 replies. They did the scale, and out of the 42, there is 2 who really urgently need the treatment. I've sent them, I don't know who they are, so I've sent everybody to go to the source. And nearly a fair 25% of them severely depressed need treatment, and again 25 have depression, and nearly 50 are okay. So out of the 42, half of them have depression. They need treatment. So people might not recognize they are ill and they need treatment, but because there's no knowledge. So if you come, inshallah, and I'll see if we can, inshallah, help each other to